Hallo Klickenabendler, wir sind in Essen auf der Spiel 2023. Next to me is sitting Igor. Hi Igor.
Hi everyone.
You are from Poland?
Yes, we're from Poland.
And you built a new game, or your friend built a new game. It's called Tiny Mini Golf, and there's a crowdfunding project at the moment for it.
Yes, the campaign is live right now, so we encourage everyone to check out the page and back it, right?
So before we give information about the edition there, we can have a look at the game. The game's laying out here. It's a print and play game, so you can print it, or you get, I don't know, do you get the laminated stuff?
So you get only the PDF.
Yes.
The base pledge is $3, and then you can print it out yourself.
Right.
So it's an easy way to deliver the game to the backers. Yeah.
Okay. So let's have a look how the game works. We built a tiny mini golf plan, I guess.
Yes, exactly. So the game is divided into two phases, which I think is quite unique. In the first one, you will try to build a mean course for one of your opponents. During the second one, you will try to beat the one that somebody else created for you. And depending on how good you did in both beating the track and creating one for your opponent, you will get score, and then of course we'll compare each other results. So during the first phase of the game, we'll roll 6 terrain dice. They have 3 different terrain types, which are walls, water, or sand, that will make it harder for your opponents to navigate the track. But before I explain how you build the track, I have to explain how you actually build it, so it will be easier for you to understand how to make it mean for your opponents. So during the second phase, of course, you will have the start point and the end point, and you will have to navigate through the course to the finish line like in golf, right? During each round, you have to choose one of 8 directions from the current position of the ball. Yeah. So for example, left, right, top, bottom, and also diagonals. And then you have to choose the power, how much power you put into the strike. Depending on the power, you have to look at the small table. You can pick from 0 power to 12, and then you have to roll a precision dice based on the power you put into the strike. The more power you put, the less accurate the strike will be. And for example, if I chose 4, I roll a red die and I get +4, which means that the strike was very inaccurate. I would move 8 spaces. Moving a space means moving from one circle to another. Yes, if you reach the wall, you just bounce off 90 degrees. If you hit a corner, this means something unpredictable will happen, and then you have to use precision dice. It's a 50-50 chance between having the ball doing what you want and not having it do what you want. So in this example we have here, it would actually do what I wanted, but if I rolled this one, my opponent would force me to move another way and possibly maybe getting into the sand. And yes, and now knowing the basics of the movement, we can go back to the terrain. So we have 3 types of terrain. The basic one are walls. You just bounce off them, you cannot cross them up. Yeah. The second type is the sand, which will always stop your movement no matter how strong you hit the ball. And the worst kind is water. If you fall into the water, you basically lose one turn and have to start over from the last position you had. Yep. And now going back to the building, when we roll the die, the terrain die, we group them together so that they match, and then each player simultaneously and independently chooses one terrain type and draws at maximum this number of terrains that is depicted on the dice. So for example, I could choose the walls and create a single group of all those 4, up to all those 4, or for example 2 sand pits. Let's say I chose this one. Of course we have to have a start somewhere and the end. I could, for example, create a wall like here. Let me replace the marker. That would be 1. Then some additional ones, so it won't be that easy for my opponent to get through here. Yep, so this is a continuous group of walls, and I used all the dice. The building phase lasts for 8 rounds. During the 6th and 7th round, you get your track back and try to kind of fix it. And then in the last round, you give it back to your opponent. After all the players designed their courses for somebody else, we just rotate it clockwise and try to beat it according to the rules I've explained before.
And do you count how many? Because how many moves you make?
Yes, of course. So you start with 0, and then every move you make, you just put a number there. Mm-hmm. If you fall into the water, you just cross +1.
Right.
Yep. And yeah, that's basically it.
And you get 1 point, or how much point do you get?
So first, depending on how many moves you made, let's just make a small example.
One?
Yeah, let's just... Okay, let's say I finished in 3 moves. Mm-hmm. Okay? And then my opponent finished in...
4.
Yeah, 4. Then I get 3 points for finishing mine, -4 for the score of my opponent, which gives me -1, and then the lowest number wins.
So you try to get a lowest number.
Yes, exactly. And it's very important to beat the track in a good way and also create a very mean course for your opponent, because both of them count.
And you count with your opponent, which has your plan, and you have got the plan from him. So if you play by 4, you only compare to one guy.
Yes. But you design a track for player to your left, and then you get a track from the player to your right. So like 3 players are involved in this.
And then you compare your count between which player?
All the players.
All the players.
Yeah,
so I make minus all the points.
Exactly.
All right, I get it. Okay, so now it's a crowdfunding project which will end in at the end of October. You can pledge it for €3 or $3, and you get a PDF, or you can get the whole game.
Yes. So the basic pledge is for $3 or euro. Yep, would have to check. And you get the base game. So everything you see here.
Without the die, of course?
Yes, without the die, because we don't ship them. But you get the PDFs also for the die, so you can print them and use any die and just stick the sides to it. But you can also just use an app. And right now, we will provide you with the images, because there's a universal app that you can just upload the images into, and then it will simulate the moves for you. But also, one of the stretch goals, which is already unlocked, will provide you with a designated app for this game. It will be available in the web, so on all platforms.
And are you planning to create a final product with real dice and the plan?
This is something to be asked to the designer. I cannot comment too much, but he's working on it.
Okay. So now you did get a first look on tiny mini golf, and you can pledge it on Kickstarter, and perhaps there will be more news coming up, and hopefully we will get the information and tell you about it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Bye.